Good afternoon, Bill. Today, this is Basketball Scouting of America. We're talking about some of the top prospects in the country. I'm just very excited to watch some basketball today, and I quite frankly wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Bill Thorpe here, and I'm really excited to see some people get out there and play. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great. I'm feeling great, and I'm darn ready to look good. And at this first prospect coming in, quite frankly, he's got some off the field issues. I don't know how he looks. He's got the fundamentals. I'll tell you that much. But we're gonna see if he's got what he takes.
We'll see here.
Oh wow! Look at that shot. Yeah, right down the middle. Wow. This guy's sure got it. But like we said, we just don't know if he's gonna be able to stick with it for the whole season because this guy
he's got attitude issues.
People are saying he's a horrible person. Coming in with the next prospect, though, we've got a real heater. This guy seems like he can't miss. Yeah, I don't know what you think about that, Bill, but look at this guy.
This guy's been on fire recently. For the last year, it's been crazy.
Check this out. You won't believe it. Welcome back to the sneaker bench, baby. Come on. Welcome back to the sneaker bench. Today we're talking about our sneaker brand power rankings. But before we do that, we're going to get into that on feet. Raj, what do you got on feet today?
It's Drake Day. He released his album today, so I'm wearing the Not the Glides.
Go check out our video.
Yeah, go check out our video. It's a great shoe. This is like maybe my second time wearing them.
If this is your first video too, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Spiro. That's Raj. And today I'm wearing the just plum Dunk Lows, regular Dunk Lows, plum, all suede, purple, red, a different shade of purple, more red. I like the shoe. Really cool. But anyways, we're getting into our top 10 sneaker brand power rankings. What does that mean? Well, 2023, it's been one of the best years in sneakers in a long time, in my opinion, and I think many people agree. And now it's a fun idea, or it's a fun time to be able to look back and say, okay, what random brands are ascending, what brands are lowering. Since this is our first time doing that, we're not going to be doing the up arrow or down arrow like you see in sports, because technically nobody's rising and falling, and we could technically make a fabricated list of about a year ago, but I feel like that's not as fun. It'll be more fun when we make a second one of these, and then we can actually make our own up arrows and down arrows. Coming in at number 10, Raj and I compiled our two lists together to make one real list, is Hoka. At number 10, Raj, you were a Hoka champion, so what do you think?
I just think this is like, I've seen more Hokas on feet than I've seen anything else recently. They're having that like running, even though I haven't seen, Spiro says there aren't a lot of people running in them, but I've seen a lot of people just with them on feet, whether it's walking, whether it's to work, and they are kind of they're kind of championing that like huge midsole, that super puffy midsole, I think like trend that's going on. You're seeing New Balance kind of following suit with that trend. They're coming out with a new shoe that has that similar vibe. I know a few other sneaker brands have done the same thing, similar to Saucony. So I just think Hoka deserves to be on there because of how much you see them, and how much, like, I don't know if hype's the right word, but how much attention they're getting in the sneaker world.
Yeah, I think other brands could have made it at number 10. I had somebody different on my list at 10, but I do think a lot of people are wearing them. Like Raj said, I run most days of the week, and I really don't see people wearing Hokas, and believe me, I pay attention a lot. But Raj is right. A lot of people are walking around in them, and I think they definitely have a moment. And if we're making a power rankings list, they probably deserve to be on the list. But anyways, coming in at number 10 or number 9, we have Diadora. Diadora having a cool moment. I think they're just coming back. They're mattering more. I find myself looking back at old Diadoras, looking at new Diadoras. Even this year, Diadora has done cool collaborations with, a few. They've done collaborations with Hanon. They've done other collaborations as well, and they're just doing cool stuff. They've done a lot of cool stuff in the past. I feel like they're kind of getting the respect they deserve now when they haven't in the past. So I thought they were important to include on the top 10. Raj, do you have anything to add on that?
No, not really. I honestly, Diadora is not a brand that I've personally had my eye on a whole bunch, but I don't think 9's necessarily a bad spot. I think that's where you can kind of fit them in.
Coming in number 8, though, we have Reebok, which personally I wanted to put them slightly higher, one spot higher actually. We ended up putting them in 8. I don't know if they're putting out too many new things that people are looking for, waiting on, especially new models. Definitely, Reebok is kind of sticking to their tried and true Club C, Workout Plus, Iverson line kind of niche. I think they could do more. I hope to see more from them in the future. I am a Reebok fan, but we'll see. I don't know. Would you have anything to add on that, Raj?
Yeah, I feel like at 8 they make sense there because they haven't really innovated or done anything new. They don't have any collaborations. It's like
They have collaborations. They're just not. People aren't looking for them as much.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And like, when you stick to your two models that have done well, it's like I think it makes sense that you kind of fall over time, and maybe they'll come back. I hope they do because I like Reebok as a brand. I bought my first pair of Reeboks this year, but I just kind of feel like 8 is where they probably should slot in.
Again, I wanted to put them higher, but some of the other brands, it's hard not to put them ahead of them. 7, we have Salomon. That was when I had Reebok over them, but Salomon is having a big moment. Putting them at 7, it definitely shows that. And Raj can probably speak to why he wanted them higher on the list.
Yeah, so I like Salomon a lot, and I think a lot of their shoes are really cool, but they're having this huge moment in fashion right now, which I think is really interesting. This trail running, kind of like Corey trend that's happening, or moment that's been going on for the last around year or two. They're really taking advantage of that. They've been at the forefront of that when it comes to footwear, and it's really interesting. It's a brand that I didn't see coming a few years ago. But it's really exciting that they're kind of at the front of that. I want to see more. The reason they're at 7, and like I think over time they could go higher, maybe next year or a few years from now. But we need to see like more collaborations or more like
just exciting colorways.
Right now they're kind of just sticking with the basics, which makes sense because this is new to them, I guess.
They're also they make Salomon is a shoe that just makes like sporting goods. They make skis. For Pete's sake, like they're not probably thinking about like, oh, how can we get like Ronnie Feig in the building? Like that's not really their avenue, and maybe they end up going more in that direction. We'll see. I think Salomons are cool. I do like them. Eventually, I would like a pair, but kind of what Roger was saying, there's not many like colorways that really catch my eye. When you look at their their website, it's like black, white, gray, tan, which is fine, and they're cool. But when I have too many shoes already, I kind of want to get something exciting, and there aren't too many Salomons like that. They're also accessible, but we put them at 7. They're on the list. I think that's a good start for Salomon. Like Rush said, they definitely have room to grow and rise on this list. Coming at number 6, though, we separated Jordan and Nike, so we have Jordan at 6. I think they've had a pretty good year, although I think it's probably pretty front-loaded. In the beginning of 2023, they started off with a reimagined Jordan 3s and the SB4s, 2 sneakers, which I had on my reimagined 3s as my honorable mention, and the SB4 on my top 5 sneakers of the year so far list. So I think they're both really good shoes. They haven't done too much huge stuff since then, but at the same time, a lot of people are wearing Jordans. You see Jordans all the time on the street, in the city, and I can only imagine that it's like that in other cities. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts, Raj. I think Jordan will have good stuff coming up. They always have big holiday releases, but I do think that they kind of had a front-loaded year with some of their biggest stuff coming out in January through March.
I agree with that. I mean, they had do the reimagined 4s come out this year, or is that a next year release?
They might come out holiday 2023, but I'm not
the biggest fan of those, regardless. But that is a shoe that's coming out. Yeah.
I'm honestly out on those. We haven't gotten actual product photos on those. I'm not set on those. People are saying, oh, we want the nubuck, which I understand, and I would prefer the nubuck. But I am a big Jordan 4 guy, so I'm not gonna say I hate those yet, because a lot of the pictures that have come out have just been crappy, leak photos. So you never know what they actually are gonna look like. But I do agree, some of the pictures are kind of iffy. Now, cool to go to the top 5.
Yep.
Top 5 time. Coming at number 5. This is exciting, I think. We're putting Saucony at number 5, which I thought Saucony had to be It had to be high up because they're having a big moment. They are hot, maybe as hot as Saucony has ever been. They're doing really cool stuff. You could talk about their actual GR stuff. They're doing all the cool pro grid sneakers. There's a ton of them. It fits right in with the running sneaker. Whatever they call it, mesh runner trend, fitting right into that niche while also doing really cool collabs with J-Tips. J-Tips coming onto the scene in a fiery way. He's leaking new sneaker images. When will those come out? I don't know. And then they also just did the Claim a Seat. I said his name wrong last time, and I'm not even going to say it, but the Claim a Seat Sauconys were really, really cool. Those just came out this past weekend. We talked about them in our last video. Really cool. So they're doing collaborations. They're doing cool GR stuff. They're bringing old models back, and I just think it's an exciting time for Saucony. As well as, you have to still mention, Saucony makes some of the best performance running sneakers in the game, and those have been and continue to be a big staple in the running world. So I don't know if you have anything to add, but I think that was a lot of the points I wanted to hit for those.
I mean, they're just really capitalizing on that Y2K runner trend. I mean, I think like them and New Balance are probably leading the forefront when it comes to those, when it comes to that trend. And I think Saucony might have maybe like a slightly more interesting silhouette to work with the Pro Grid Triumph line. So we'll see, but I think 5 is a good spot for them. They kind of snuck under my radar though, but that's just like me personally. I think at 5, that's fine.
And at number 4, we have Asics. Asics coming at 4. Thought about putting them a little bit higher, but we think 4 is probably a good spot for them. Also, with the Gel Cayano line, they're also hitting on that mesh runner trend. So I think New Balance, Asics, and Saucony are kind of in the three-headed monster of this trend. But Asics done a lot of cool stuff in that regard, which has been GRs as well as collabs. You see things like, although I think it's kind of boring, the John collab and the Gel Cayano. People like those. And then you can go get about a jillion colorways for retail too on their website. It's always cool when you can see that kind of stuff happening when a big trend is going on. And then also things like the Marvel Ronnie Fike
those are sweet.
Gel Light collaboration.
Yeah.
Super cool. That's vintage Ronnie Fike type stuff where he's coming in making not only really good sneakers, really good quality, but an awesome experience where you have a crazy package and the unboxing aspect. Like, that just doesn't happen. People don't do that. And it's cool to see Ronnie Fike not only making great sneakers, but also making great experiences, because that's the type of stuff that inspires other people to do cool, interesting new experiences. So I think when you're coupling like good collaborations, as well as, the house studios, we've talked about other stuff. Asics is doing other things as well, but those are kind of just like the big points we're hitting on. I think with the good collaborations and the good GR stuff, Asics at number 4 just makes sense.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 3, one of the hardest brands to rank. We both did not feel good about this, but at the same time, after thinking about it, we put Adidas at 3. Is Adidas having a hot moment right now?
I think
sort
they're
of.
At the end of it. They're at the end of it.
I think if we make this video, Raj and I were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
If we make this video a year from now, maybe sooner, Adidas is probably lower if they don't figure something out.
Yeah.
They're riding the tail end of that Gazelle and Samba wave.
Yeah.
We couldn't put them, we didn't want to put them at least lower because people are wearing them. But at the same time, when you think about what big moments have they been having, we don't think of many. Like there are like the Anthony Edwards shoe, we did just talk about that. That is cool. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. But people are wearing them for how much longer? I don't know. Adidas has got to do something.
Yeah, and like since the Yeezy brand kind of like fell off, or like they stopped innovating in that line, they've really just been riding that Samba and Gazelle trend. And when you do something like that, you're gonna fall off. That's my prediction for next year. But right now they're still riding the tailcoats of that, so I think that is still fair to put them at 3 because you see it so much. You see so many people wearing them. There's so many colorways out there, and it is a good shoe. Both the Samba and Gazelle are both good shoes, so we'll give them 3. We'll see what they do in the upcoming few months. I think that is a watcher to fall.
And to be fair, when a big part of your company leaves like that, in terms of the Yeezy line, it takes over a year to like design and produce a new sneaker. So you gotta probably have to give them a little bit of time to regain their footing and create new things. You'd like to think they were doing that already and they weren't just putting so much pressure on that side of their business to produce, but
Seems
maybe
like
they weren't.
were.
Maybe they weren't. So, anyways, coming in at number 2, we have Nike. This was a discussion we had. I had New Balance at 1, then I put Nike at 1, but we decided to put Nike at 2. They're having a big moment, but it is not as big as New Balance, which we put at 1. But we'll talk about Nike first. They're doing a lot of good stuff. Nike's always having good collaborations. They're always, joining in on the trends. You've seen we have Nike shoes that we've gotten on the channel. Raj is
wearing Nikes.
Literally, we're both wearing Nikes. You saw them at the beginning of the video. Raj just picked up a pair. I think they're having a good year. I know we didn't include Jordan in this, but even without Jordan taking out a huge part of the Nike umbrella, Nike's still having a great year.
Yeah.
I think they're probably since a lot of other brands are releasing like cool, funky stuff. A lot of Nike is just having a little bit of fun. It seems like where like Nike Air Footscape Woven, like they're bringing kind of stuff like that out, and that's probably not what people are, waiting on. It's not, affecting the moment as much. But I think that kind of stuff is cool, bringing out the weird stuff, and people probably appreciate that more down the line. I think there's an argument to be made to put Nike at 1, putting them at 2. I feel fine. And Raj, what do you have to say about Nike?
I mean, they're doing what Nike always does, which is reusing their what's it called?
The archive?
Yeah, they're using their archive to their advantage, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's what they've always done. And I like their archive. They have a great archive, but I just
at the same time they do release new shoes, and it's hard to say that when there's innovation in basketball and running, Nike is at the forefront almost always. So it's hard not to put Nike at 1 for those reasons. But in terms of moments, in terms of how much, this was Raj's art, you could say.
This is the New Balance era. We are in the New Balance era.
And for that reason, we put New Balance at 1.
This is their era.
It's New Balance. New Balance is playing. If you're thinking about this sport, New Balance is at the top of their game. At the top of the game, they never played this well before. And it's exciting because New Balance is a historic brand. They've had big moments in the past, but is this New Balance's biggest moment ever? It's possible. And they've released a lot of sneakers. Like we just said, we've been excited about a lot of Nike sneakers, but have we been even more excited about a lot of New Balance sneakers? It seems like New Balance is almost like just not missing on a lot of their collaborations. Complex Sneakers podcast touched on it recently, where it just seems like they just have such a large roster of collaborators that are just more just like creative people rather than brands. People like Joe Freshgoods. We have a Joe Freshgoods episode on the channel. Awesome. Action Bronson. We're continuing to do stuff with Action Bronson. Salehi Bimberry. Sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, but like all 3 of those guys are doing really cool stuff, and there's more. So it's hard to say anything bad about New Balance right now, and that's why they're 1. They're at the top of their game. They are just churning out good sneaker after good sneaker, with collaborations as well as GR models. Roger, what else do you have to add?
This is where I think like you look at like what celebrities are wearing, you look at what people are buying into, and it's right now it just is New Balance. Whether it's the 2002R, the 990, or the 550 line that randomly picked up. I saw like 400% increase in sales of the 550 literally last week.
The Taylor Swift
that's
effect.
That's the Taylor Swift effect. But
that won't make sense in like 3 years.
But this is the New Balance era. This is the best they've ever been. This is the best situation that they've ever been in. They're still like innovating, creating new sneaker lines and stuff. So I just think that this is their time. How long it lasts, we'll see. But I think right now, if you look at this current era, this current time period, it's their era.
It's their era, and that's our top 10. You don't have to agree with it. And if you don't, put your top 10, top 5 in the comments below. We'd love to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Tell us what you think. Legitimately, do you think our list was any good? I think it was pretty good, but if not, let us know. I'm Spiro, that's Raj. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Have a nice day.